Hey fellow comrades, and welcome to one of the best Uber battles I ever had, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming, and hope you guys will enjoy this battle because this match was insane. We got a match against Chaos. Guys, if you guys see the timeline, I'm gonna make this battle a little bit slower because there's just so much stuff going on I have to cover. So I hope you guys can understand that, and you're all for a treat, guys, because this battle was something else. Anyways, I'm gonna expect him to lead with a Genesect. I'm gonna lead with Ho-Oh. Now, fully aware the Genesect cannot two-shot me with a T-Bolt, especially after gaining that attack increase instead of a special attack increase. I'm feeling free right now to playing it offensive. Either way, Lugia is gonna come in. Of course, Lugia does possess the multi-scale, which means that Ho-Oh will not really do much damage towards it. Now, this Ho-Oh is a little bit different. It's got lots of bulk into his HP as well as into his attack. It's anime nature. It doesn't really have the speed, but then again, looking at it with each new generation, I feel like Ho-Oh speed becomes less of an importance. You know, especially if you play with the recall of Braybird, I kind of want that. Especially as I do have the Sleep Talk on top of it all, the regenerate ability that does mean that I'm gonna regain, if I'm not mistaken, 33.3% on the switch. So basically I switch out to Klefki, he's gonna switch out to Groudon. I do manage to avoid Toxic, so now my opponent is gonna get the general idea of what I'm all about. Now, I'm not too sure whether or not he does watch my videos, but you know, sometimes I face people that watch my videos, sometimes I face newcomers, and my opponent here is nobody to mess around with. He is an incredibly skilled player, and I somehow feel in this battle that he is on my groundings, and this is what made the battle just incredible, and I really look forward to narrating this. Hope you guys are looking forward to seeing the rest of the match. Anyways, here's where he makes an exceptional move. He knows fully well I will try to switch out Ho-Oh to avoid Earthquake, which Klefki is weak to, and then switch out to my Garchomp to further try to take advantage of the typing, but he goes directly for the Stone Edge, and I somehow managed to try to predict that somehow, because of my opponent, I start to realize this guy must be good. The plays he's doing, he's probably gonna do something like this, knowing how I'm gonna be looking at from my perspective, and I cannot lose Ho-Oh this early in the match. So he does switch out to Lugia, which I do kind of expect. That's why I did not go for Earthquake. I am Choice Scarf. If I go for Drag Claw, I can at least dent some damage. If I go for Earthquake, that's gonna be immune, and I'm not gonna be doing any damage towards him whatsoever. So he does switch out to his Genesect. I switch out to my Edgy Slash. I do go for the King Shield to see what kind of move he's gonna do, and then appropriately try to take advantage. He does review the Flamethrower, which means I can switch out to my Altaria. This is the perfect opportunity, but he does also switch out to his Groudon. I'm probably expect me to switch out to Ho-Oh, but no, this is an Altaria moment right here to Mega Evolve to get rid of my flying type, especially if maybe he's got like Stealth Rocks, his Groudon, which is something to keep in mind, and I've started to realize. But ever since there was Primal Groudon on Showdown especially, they have all been running the Sword Dance Rock Polish sets, the double setup set, but not really the Stealth Rock, which is very surprising. But I do need to mention, because there was no Stealth Rocks, is what will make this match incredible, and it can go either way, guys. It can go either way. So he's gonna go for the move. I am really not much known, you know, because I've not really faced it, so all my knowledge is out of the picture at this point. I do go for the Cotton Guard a little bit more. Now he keeps on doing it, which kind of gives me thinking maybe it's a high chance of a crit move. Again, I'm not too sure what this move does. It keeps on doing same damage even after me running Cotton Guard, and did lower down his special attack, which I am still surprised. Does it completely ignore the stats changes, or is there a high chance of a crit? Because you're gonna see right now he's gonna go for another one, and I'm thinking it's gonna be good, but no, he crits me, and that goes through all my boosts. It ignores the special attack, which again, I'm not too sure whether or not this is special or physical, but it's been doing same damage over and over again, so I'm kind of going towards special, or just a move that generally ignores any boosts whatsoever, defensively speaking. So Garchomp comes in. I'm pretty sure he's gonna expect maybe the Outrage. He knows he can take one, but no, I go for Earthquake, expect him to predict me, to predict the Lugia, and do something else, and I do manage to take him out. That is incredible, because Groudon does possess the whole ground typing, and ground typing can be a bit of a troublesome thing later on in the match. So this Salamence is gonna come in. He's gonna reveal the Mega Salamence. This is a threatening Pokemon that got into Ubers quite early because of how threatening it truly was. It gains speed, it gains bulk, it gains attack, a little bit of attack, but generally speaking, it is a frightening Pokemon to face. I directly switch out to Klefki. I don't want to play any games against this. I need to paralyze it. I was actually debating whether or not I should reflect or whether or not I should directly go for the T-Wave. I decided to make that slow approach by going for the T-Wave, Prankster T-Wave, because if I do not paralyze this, he can preserve it. If I go for the Reflect for later on, Intimidate can be important towards my Garchomp later on, but this way he may actually sack it, and that is exactly what he does. He does decide to sack it against my Articuno, for he knows that I could go for Hurricane, I could break. He's just not going to risk too much because his Helmet is already paralyzed. It's going to be semi-useful, but not as useful as his other teammates. So he does just sack it there, right there and then, as I'm Life Orb. And my Articuno is a little bit different. It's got max speed, again questionable. I should probably change that. But the Life Orb did kind of play a bit of a role there. I'm pretty sure that without Life Orb, you know, Salamence could potentially take it because he was at the end of the day at max HP. And Salamence does possess the bulk with this Mega Evolution. I'm not too sure how much special defense, but probably enough to take because Articuno does not have any special attack investment. That's why I'm saying. Here's where he makes an incredible turns, ladies and gentlemen. He knows fully well my Ho-Oh is a Sleep Talk set. Based on the damage he's been doing to me, he knows I'm gonna regain by switching out, and I'm probably gonna switch out. So he does fully outplay me on these turns. He knows that I'm not gonna Sleep Talk because something was telling me he knows that I have Sleep Talk. And while I did see that coming, as you guys can see, he still managed to put my Aegislash to sleep, which was one of the Pokemon I don't want, you know, for him to put up to sleep. But then at the same time, I know Garchomp can take one Dark Pulse from the likes of that and proceed to go for the Scarf Dragon Claw and pretty much, review itself to be Choice Scarf, you know, without a doubt, because Darkrai does easily outspeed the likes of Garchomp would not. So I switch out to Articuno now. He does go for Ice Beam. I couldn't really risk anything. Basically, he could for Ice Beam, he can go for the U-turn. U-turn is the one thing I'm a little bit scared of. But Ice Beam will do because Articuno can take 2 of those based on the damage. I'm gonna go for the Tailwind. I could have gone for Roost, but I'm thinking, you know what, I could have Attack as well, but if he switches out to Lugia, I don't feel I'm gonna be doing that much damage. And here's where the speed doesn't really factor in all that much, especially if I go for the Tailwind. It's probably in my best interest to just run max HP investment and maybe max special attack, you know, outside of speed, because it's either a little bit over 300, which is way more than Articuno possess, and you know, that's why I tend to run HP investment on my Ho-Oh, because the things that I tend to speed tie are the things I don't want to speed tie, because I don't do that much, like Groudon and Zekrom, if I'm not mistaken. All of those I believe have 90 base speed. Then again, I could be mistaken. Anyways, Aegislash is gonna come in. I'm taking the Lugia as an opportunity to wake up, but as you guys can see, he does fully realize that, switches out to his Genesect on the same turn. Excellent play on his behalf. I had to switch out to Ho, and here is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. Here is where the game is gonna become incredible. It is all about bringing in the right types. It's all about preserving the right types for the right Pokemon. This is where the game is gonna turn into different direction, and here is where my opponent is gonna play mighty game, and I will have to think twice before acting, for each single turn is gonna matter quite a bit. So I'm gonna go for the Sacred Fire right now, trying to damage this. He does switch out to Lugia. Multiscale is gonna make him resist on that particular turn, and afterwards I can keep on hitting him with Sacred Fire because I need to burn it. At the same time, I cannot allow him to switch out to Genesect, expecting to switch out Aegislash. That could also be it. So I keep on going for Sacred Fire. I don't want to give him that moment of, you know, I don't want to give him that secure moment. I want to give him thinking, hey, you're not safe right now to switch out to Genesect. You're not going to do it. At the same time, I want him to roost at some point. So he does roost. I still want to burn him. I don't know if he does realize this, but he probably does, because there's a 50% chance to burn. So as long as I keep on doing this, he's not going to risk the Zekrom switch. Burning a Zekrom could have been very bad for him. Lugia is the best Pokemon to take on the burn. And once he's burned, he's probably not going to think that I'll keep on using the Sacred Fire, because you know, it's kind of going down on PP. So I'm probably going to try to preserve it for later on. But at the same time, I want to damage this as well as burn it, because that's again going to break him down to a point where he will have to roost. So this is exactly the turn that I was waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, as he will have to roost one way or the other, and this will allow my Aegislash to come in. For Aegislash, Lugia cannot touch it, and that is the turn that I will need for it to wake up. I need to pretty much burn Sleep Talk. You know, not really Sleep Talk, but I need to burn the sleep turns. As he is of course burned, he will have to be forced to roost, or else Lugia's days are going to be numbered because of the Garchomp that is Scarf. And again, main priority right now, you guys may think, why is Edge Slash this important to you? The reason Edge Slash is important is because Genesect. I know I can take one move from Genesect and I need to damage it to where Outrage could be enough, because if I lock myself in the Earthquake with Garchomp, then Lugia can easily come in, can play with that typing. I need Outrage to go through his team. But for that to happen, we're gonna need to make some key moments right here, ladies and gentlemen, and we are far from those if it ever comes down to that. So basically I'm trying to wake up right now. Unfortunately, you know, basically I believe this is a one turn wake. It's not gonna happen any day soon. I had to switch out. Now here is where I could have expected Flamethrower, but then again Ho was a little bit more expected, where Articuno as a sack was not as expected. So I felt, you know, I'm just gonna sack Articuno for the greater good. I feel like Lugia, we already seen how much damage we did against it, and Zekrom is gonna outspeed me. So generally speaking, I'm not gonna do much with Articuno one-on-one against anything on his team. So basically I have to play this. I had to sack Articuno to switch out Ho afterwards, knowing fully well his Genesect is of course Scarf. He will have to switch out. Gonna go for the Brave Bird, gaining that damage, because again guys, it is very important to damage this, to scratch it to where Lugia cannot dealt, to where Lugia it is forced to roost. If he does not roost, then it's gonna be bad. But again, he made double switch, but that's gonna make it killable for Outrage, and he cannot afford that. So again, I had to switch out to my to my Edge Slash, and he's gonna, he's easily gonna go for the roost, taking the advantage. But again, I'm taking this Lugia as an opportunity to burn them sleep turns even further. So I believe this is gonna be the second sleep turn we're gonna go. I actually have Toxic on this. You guys aren't well aware, I have Toxic, Iron Head, Shadow Sneak. I don't have Shadow Ball, where it could have been very useful to the likes of this, which possess a little bit more defense bulk, and it doesn't resist the likes of Ghost. But at the same time, I felt, it's gonna be fine. As long as we damage this, Zekrom at full HP probably can take Outrage from the likes of Garchomp. That is jolly, and that is a little bit of a sad story to it. I'm pretty sure it could, because the bulk of Zekrom is really rare. I'm sorry guys, my words are a little bit messed up right now, but they're really rare. Wow. Wow, that was something else. But anyways guys, he managed to overpredict, and here's where he told me, not really told me, but with his actions, he told me this guy is not messing around with me as much as I'm not messing around with him. He knows fully well that I'm pretty sure he is choice, and he was expecting me to switch out to Garchomp to lock him into an electric move, which was to be expected, and that is why he made that old prediction right there, right then, and that was incredible, because basically that made me, stall even further, and it was just great. So basically we managed to wake up, if I'm not mistaken. We're just gonna stand change right now. I need to damage this with Iron Head, because I know I can take the Flamethrower from the likes of his Genesect, and I need to damage it, as I said before, because I need Outrage to go through his team. So what I was banking is Iron Head and Shadow Sneak. Then again, Zekrom was at the amount of level of HP where he could have probably taken. That was the one thing that was giving me a bit of a concern. Still, he's gonna switch out back to his Genesect. I'm gonna go for the King Shield. He knows this fully well, so he does take advantage like a pro, like a champ. Right now he's gonna go for the Flamethrower. I'm not gonna risk too much. I already damaged Zekrom, probably to the amount where Outrage is gonna take him out. But I'm gonna go for Iron Head right now, ladies and gentlemen. We do a lot, but that was a crit, and that is very important, because now with the Shadow Sneak, he's probably at a range where even after resisting the Outrage, he's not gonna take it. And again guys, his Zekrom is weak to Outrage. Garchomp is key player. Ho is gonna be outspeeded by Zekrom. If it comes down to that, stuff are gonna get terrible. So I'm really hoping he's not gonna switch out to Zekrom right now. He's probably not even gonna risk the further damage to it. So he's just gonna be playing it safe. I am poisoned, but again, as you guys can see, Regenerate is really helping me out in this case. Lugia and Ho gain one of the best abilities. These two truly legendary birds, legendary epic Uber Pokemon we used to know back from the Gold and Silver era, has truly gained abilities to really embrace and say, that they are definitely worth having. The abilities going up to such marvelous Pokemon like this, I like it. So basically he's just gonna stay in, he's just gonna try to weather me down, maybe expect me to switch out to Garchomp, but then again, there's really no reason for me to do so because I need Garchomp to stay safe, for else I will fail. So basically I gotta go for the Brave Bird. He can still outspeed me because Lugia possesses base speed much higher than Ho. I believe it's a base speed of 110, while Ho's base speed is 90 again, if I'm not mistaken. I do need to say that Ubers have been becoming my favorite here. I'm really new to Ubers, but ever since if I have Uber Bells, they tend to be like this, very like bulky and powerful, but long matches, but very good. Like, it all comes down to mind plays, the moves you do, and just generally the double switches he did back before, you know, making it that much more threatening, that much more strong. So basically I switch out to Edge Slash. I'm in my defensive form, and Ice Beam is not really gonna do much. It did, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much less than leftover recovery. That is a little bit sad, but that is Lugia for you. Lugia is a wall. It, you know, it could be a tank. It could even be offensive threat if you run Calm Mind on it. That could be huge, but he of course is running more of a wallless set, and he's not doing much because of the unstep on top of it all. So I'm gonna go for the direct Shadow Sneak. He did offensively play. Lugia was in the remainder of HP. Well, Shadow Sneak will be enough to take him out. But seeing that this damage means that Shadow Sneak may be enough, depending on minimum maximum, that the previous one was it. And it was enough, ladies and gentlemen. Genesect is gonna go down. That is a huge problem. And here is where it's very important to note that basically Iron Head crit back there would make Genesect survive. And, you know, basically, yeah, it would still not appreciate Outrage. He would still have 2 Pokemon left, and my confusion would hit. But then again, there's Ho still involved, so I could easily get rid of the confusion. Still, he's gonna go for the electric type move, one of his strongest moves. He's easily gonna clean take me out. Had to go for the Shadow Sneak to guarantee myself the Outrage to be enough in taking this Fiend down. Again, I cannot seem to say for certain if without the Shadow Sneak damage prior, the Outrage will be enough, but now I am pretty sure that the remainder Jolly Nature should not be my downfall. So I'm gonna go for Outrage right now. Lugia is gonna come in. I'm gonna clean take it out with a crit. Lots of crit coming in, but basically this one definitely didn't matter. And Zekrom is gonna come in. And if I fail, Ho is gonna be clean taken out. That's why Zekrom is a huge problem. He is gonna get outspeeded by Choice Scarf, Jolly Garchomp, and that will be the game, ladies and gentlemen. It came down to, you know, as we mentioned, Garchomp, the prior damage on the Genesect was very important, but it was all planning ahead, and that Lugia was a problem, was a beast, was taking my moves left and right. But Ho's typing, a combination with Garchomp as well as Edge Slash, all of those three bring in the typing combination that was giving him a bit of a mindset of mistakes and succeed moments that he did. And everything was really coming down strong. So hope you guys have enjoyed this match as much as I did. Great match, Chaos. You know, I really want to battle you again. It's an honor to have you in my list, because at some point I felt that the way you were playing and when I was playing, realizing what Pokemon you were having there, and then you realizing that I'm having Choice Scarf, Garchomp, and the way you were playing, it showed that equal respect towards each other. And I definitely want to play you again, because you clearly know, and you are a threat. So hope you guys have enjoyed this match as much as I did. If you did enjoy, want to see more people, you know, watch it, newcomers, the one way you can do it is by leaving a like on this video. I do appreciate you guys' support. Keep it strong. I'm definitely gonna make a layout for this. As I'm narrating, there is no layout, but I'm definitely gonna make a layout. So anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and until next time, take care. Peace.